Hey, did you know that the Torture Pod has merch? Yeah. Over at redbubble.com/people/torturepod, we have a whole bunch of different items that you can wear, adorn on your phone or your computer or your car to show your love for torture. We have Brazen Bull t-shirts. You can have the torture logo on a mug. Guild Array on Hat Day on a hat, if that's what you choose. Welcome to Latumba shower curtains. I mean, literally, anything you want. iPhone cases with sort your fucking life out on them. I mean, how much better does it get? And remember, all Pride merch sold, profits go directly to the Trevor Project. So you're also helping people in the process of showing your love for the podcast. So go to redbubble.com/people/torturepod. And as all the kids these days say, get your fit on, bro. I don't know if that's what they say or not. I'm not cool.
Let the beardstruggle.com cream all over your beard.
What?
With the Beard Struggle's all new beard cream.
Oh, thank God.
Now everybody can get nice and creamy.
I think what he means to say is that with ingredients like glycerin and shea butter, avocado, and jojoba oils, it's perfect for everyone, anytime.
Night, day, hot, cold. You're gonna get that cream.
Okay. And hydrolonic acid ensures deep hydration without the grease for a long beard or just some scruff.
Creamy scruff without the grease.
Dude, gotta stop. And as always, use our exclusive discount code TORTURE19 and take up to 19% off at checkout.
Getting creamy and taking it off.
Okay, we need to end this. TheBeardStruggle.com. Do what's right for your beard. Do what's right for your face.
Sort your sexy, creamy fucking beard out.
Oh, boy. The subject of this episode is a device that has sparked controversy and debate since the late 1700s. One of the most iconic inventions of pain to ever grace the halls of museums across the globe. We'll go all the way back to the age of Macedonia to take a look at the disputed history of this legendary apparatus, to find where it started, who first dreamed it up, and the possible inspirations for its creation, including a fallen Roman general, an evil ancient robot, and another devastatingly vicious piece of hardware that we've covered before, and the person that goes along with it that we've become all too familiar with. It's real, I swear. Trust me. Today we give you the Iron Maiden. I'm Kevin Young. There you go. Oh, and this is Torture. Are you a Muppet now?
Mama.
I will do that at work. I will walk around singing that song, trying to do as many of the Muppet voices as I can, because I fucking love the Muppets so goddamn much. They're my favorite thing.
Yeah, I used to always do Cookie Monster ones. Hey, we had biscuits here at one stage that were called BNs, and they used the Muppet music in the ad. When it's BN, do 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 do, BN, do do do.
Oh, okay.
BN,
I get it. Did they get in trouble?
No. You couldn't get them for the longest time. You can get them again now, though. So maybe they did.
The Muppets own your cookies now, your biscuits now.
Cookie. Nom, 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 nom.
I used to do that with the kids all the time.
You just took my word of advice for the day, Kevin. Thank you.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Thanks very much. Ruined. The Titanic sinks in the end. Bastards.
When that movie came out, I was like, well, I don't need to go see it because at the end of the movie that the boat sinks. It's like, no, that's like, you still have like 45 minutes after the fucking boat sinks before the end of the movie. So,
yep.
Yeah,
I read a great thing about how your own Rose is the actual villain of the movie.
Because she
fucking holds on to this fucking thing for her entire life, only to have this guy bring her out into the middle of the water to tell her story and fuck it into the ocean. That thing's worth millions, where she could have helped support her family with it, and she fucks off on the husband she spent her entire life with to go off with a homeless guy she had a 3-day fling with on a boat, who she let free to death. You know,
and that's the only person that she gave a shit about. Like, we'll always love him. It's like, you didn't even fucking know him. Yeah. You had a good time on a boat.
Yeah.
You don't know what it's going to be like when you take him back home and you have to live life.
That's it.
Yeah, he could be a piece of shit.
He was. He would have dumped her as soon as she went past the age of 27. So...
I don't know, Kate Winslet. I'm keeping her around. I'm keeping Kate Winslet around past 27. I think she's better now than when she was back then.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. Buddy, how you doing?
Good.
Yeah.
Can't complain, won't complain. Probably could complain.
Could complain. Won't.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a difference.
Yeah.
I definitely could complain. Millions of things to complain about.
As we'd say here, cod a on scale with you. What's the story with you?
Oh, same shit, different fucking day.
Yeah, that's it.
There's always some bullshit, but
yeah, be it you a homeowner, a parent, or a pet owner, or a human being.
yeah. If you're alive, you have some type of shit.
Yeah.
Can't think of it. Started watching this show called the Gross Point Gardening Society. Fucking love it, man. I just been reeled in. It's about this little gardening society in the city of Grosse Pointe, and they keep jumping back and forth from present day to 6 months from now. And the four main characters have killed somebody and buried them in the garden. But I'm like 6 episodes in, and the question isn't who killed the person. You know exactly who killed them, and even how they killed them. You don't know who the fuck they killed.
Oh. Okay.
The person's been wrapped up in a towel, in a blanket, and buried, and you've seen their car, but you've also seen a bunch of other people drive that car. You've seen shoes, but you've seen a bunch of people have those same shoes. So everybody's got a beef with someone, but you have no idea who the fuck this person is that was killed.
So it's not a whoddunit, it's a who
they do it to.
Who's the dunnery?
Who's the dunner?
Who's the dunner?
Yeah.
I thought the whole thing was going to go in a very different way, especially after you mentioned Bake Off as well. So I was thinking to myself, it's like, that's a massive dichotomy right there in the world of Kevin's viewing pleasures. One week, hey Dan, I recommend you watch Terrifier. Next week, hey Dan, I recommend you watch Grosse Pointe Gardening Society.
Yeah.
Where they jump ahead 6 months and they finally grew their turnips. It's like,
I have a eclectic taste. I don't know.
Yeah. Sure, look. I get you. Tay and Slipknot.
Yeah, you should look at my music playlist.
Yeah.
Got Katzenjammer and fucking Lamb of God right next to each other.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah.
Look, I'm
fucking love
same. Yeah. Brandy Carlisle and Slipknot.
Exactly. So, the only thing you won't find on mine is country.
That depends on it.
Fucking country.
Yeah, well, technically, Brandy is considered country, so.
Yeah. No country on mine.
Yeah, I don't know. Dinosaur Jr. That's ear bleeding country. That's what they call them. That's what they'd call themselves. It's not really though.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, no country on mine. I have respect for certain country singers. You know, your Johnny Cash's, Willie Nelson's, Dolly Parton's, Patsy Cline's. I have. Yeah.
You mean, so the ones that don't just sing about drinking Bud Light in the back of a pickup truck after the woman kicked them out, and all you have for company is their dog.
Yeah,
those sort of
singing
ones.
about muddy water.
Yeah,
and shit like that.
yeah.
Well, and then they're good. They were just genuinely good people. You know, if Dolly Parton was a piece of shit, then I'd tell her to go, fuck off. But Dolly Parton is a fucking saint, and Willie Nelson's been pushing for, marijuana rights and LGBTQ rights and all that for fucking years. So
The ultimate hippie,
they
that
get a
man
pass. I don't really listen to the music, but they get a pass. The rest of the country stars, I could not give two fucks about. I don't listen to country, and we just not. My wife doesn't allow it in the house.
That's fair enough. I saw a thing where it was like an AI written country song thing before, where it was like scanned all these country hits and it just wrote this song based on the most repeated words.
Yeah,
and that's just really funny. Actually, just a thing where you can get where's the most repeated words in country music. It's like a guide for writing songs, and it's just ridiculous, like beer, pick up
beer, water, pick up dog, pick up
stuff
truck,
like that.
beer.
Yeah. So,
yeah.
How about being lonely? All these guys are always after getting their heart broken by women. Maybe you're the problem, guys.
Yeah. Common denominator.
Yep. That's like I always said about Bon Jovi. It's like, I don't know, everybody goes on about how amazingly hot John Bon Jovi was and all this load of stuff, but the guy could never seem to hold down a woman according to any of his music.
Yeah.
He's always been broken up with her.
When you say Bon Jovi, you mean the non-goth Ghost?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm sorry. I just making sure. I'm making sure we're talking about the same Bon Jovi.
Yeah. the original Bon Jovi.
The original Bon Jovi. Okay. I found this app because I always listen to the same fucking music over and over again. I'm always like looking for radio stations across the globe I can listen to or something. Which I needed to. I was going to ask you about what radio station you listen to over in Dublin because I was going to look for it, see if I could play it on the computer or something. But I found this internet radio out of Toronto called Loaded Radio. They play mostly metal and metalcore, stuff like that. And I've been listening to that off and on just to get, some fresh music. And they played Ghost. And it was quite possibly the worst song I ever heard. It's a song called Elizabeth. It was just fucking horrible. It's like, why is this on a metal station? This is fucking pop.
I've already said, look, I actually kind of like their song Rats, but that's it.
Rats isn't horrible.
Yeah,
it is not, but it's. And then right after it, they played Sleep Token. I'm like, Jesus fucking Christ. Now, granted, the Sleep Token song they played after that wasn't that bad. I'm not huge on the lyricist. If I'm going to listen to metal, I want to listen to metal.
Yeah. I'll give you a metal band to listen to.
Yeah, the music was actually really fucking not too bad.
No, I listened to some of the music can be pretty good and all that. Like I can't stand Sleep Token myself. But I'm going to tell you this band now. I'm going to look them up on Spotify so I can make damn sure I know how to spell their name. Right now, these are like if like Korn and Slipknot had a baby, kind of thing. Like it's very the good side of 2000s metal, but with a bit of 90s thrown in there as well.
So pretty much so just like ultra new metal.
I kind of I don't like an awful lot of new metal, believe it or not. Like but like these are like they're closer to Korn in an awful lot of ways, I think.
Sure.
But anyway, they're called Tetrarch. Or Tetrarch, Tetrarch, and they're pretty fucking great.
Huh? I never heard of them before. They've been active since 2007.
I just started playing one of the songs to make sure something I'm thinking of real quick.
To Truck.
Yeah, that they're like number one song there. I'm not right. I think is like
Yeah. Huh. Well, there you go. I thought you were going to tell me the metal band We Butter the Bread with Butter.
Ha, no. No. Never heard of them.
You never heard of them?
No.
Yeah, no. I think it's like a German band. But yeah, the name of the band is We Butter the Bread with Butter. And it's
Nice.
a fucking death metal band.
I think on some Arno Core. Did you ever hear those? The band, the metal band, that all their lyrics are Arnold Schwarzenegger quotes.
I have not.
Oh my god! Get to the chopper. It's fucking brilliant. Oh, you should look. I think it's Arno Core is what they're called. Like
Arno Core.
Arno Core. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's the name of them. They're fucking. Oh, they're excellent.
Arno Core. Yeah, the ballsy. The
Like
greatest band of all time.
The Predator song is just so fucking brilliant because like it's like the bit in Predator when he walks in, he's like Dylan, you son of a bitch, you know, that whole thing. Like it's just that with metal music basically playing, like, and it's the singer's actually doing it. It's not like they snip in the quotes. And he's like, "What's wrong, government? We got you pushing too many pencils." It's just so fucking funny.
Arno Core's chronicle heroic tales of great deeds and fantastic adventures through songs unlike any band in history. Their ballsy defiance of cinematic Austrioploitation for the past 20 years has inspired listeners around the globe to unleash their own potential to become goddamn heroes. This is the power of action-adventure hardcore rock and roll. This is the power of the pump. This is the power of the greatest band of all time. I mean, how can you argue with it?
Well, that's it. I can't believe they only have 746 monthly listeners. I'm pretty sure I know 745 of those people. So,
Well,
yeah. Predator song, she's so good. So good.
have you seen the metal band that's made up of people dressed like Ned Flanders?
Ned Flanders, yeah. Yeah. Oakley Dokley.
Oakley Dokley.
Oh, God, they took the greatest idea ever. Like, I'm
really
so annoyed that I never thought of doing that. And when I first saw them, I was like, why the fuck did I never think of this?
Yeah,
You
because
know?
you can't do it with any other character without, there's your audacity.
Yeah. That's what happens when
You
I
can't-
put Spotify down there.
You can't do that with any other character from pop culture and it not be just copying what they're doing, you know?
Yeah.
And Ned Flanders is the best character to do that with. So they've already got
100%.
the best one. You're not going to think of a different character to do that with that's going to be better than Ned Flanders.
God, no.
They
Not a hope.
they won. They
Yeah.
hit a grand slam their very
Them
first time out.
sons of bitches.
They won it. There's nothing you can
Ah, sure, look. I'm happy for them, fuckers.
Speaking of bands, I have the Evolution of Eddie as my background.
Never really
Along
listened
with
to them. Just throwing it out there.
Yeah, I'm not a giant fan. I like Run to the Hills is obviously a classic. Number of the Beast. The Trooper is okay. I know it's one of their biggest ones. It's not something like I listen to all the time. Some of the stuff's all right. It's not my thing. But
Look, I just don't like them because they're English. You know. Anybody who knows me knows that's obviously a fucking joke considering I love Bush so much.
yeah.
Which tells you an awful lot about my musical taste.
There's nothing wrong with Bush. Look, I love Bush. Bush is great.
Yeah, that's what I tell my missus every night.
It's okay, babe. Bush is. I'm usually like it's fine. Bush is great. Yeah, woohoo. Yeah.
Yeah,
Whatever.
Bush announced a world tour. They're not fucking coming here, guys.
The
And
world tour is always like Canada and parts of the of England and Germany.
They're playing like England like 4 times, I think, or something. Must look it up. The worst thing is I'm buddies-ish and I've talked to the guitarist Chris Traynor like online like a fair amount.
Yeah.
Like, and I messaged him and I'm like, Chris, why the fuck aren't you coming here? I got no response. It's like, get down, Chris! Because he said to me, he goes, hey, if we do plan to go there, he goes, I'll let you know straight away. And I was like, fucking too right, because, you know, fucking points.
Yeah.
You know? And he's like, yeah, cool. And then I was like, Chris, why aren't you coming here? Why not? You're breaking my heart. No response. So, Chris, come on.
We know you're listening. We know you and Gavin are sitting somewhere just listening to this episode. Come on.
Yeah. God damn it.
Gavin Rossdale does not listen to this fucking show.
You never know, right? I saw this. I can't remember the comedian's name now. Your man, he does all this stuff with his top off. He's a big beer gut and stuff like this. And
Brett Kreischer,
yeah,
Bert Kreischer,
Bert, yeah. And he does this thing where like he's like cooking for celebrities or like that, and talking to them, and and he did it. He had Corey Taylor and Gavin Rossdale on, and he turns around to Gavin and he goes, I interviewed your ex-wife before. And he's like, oh yeah. And he was like, you see Gavin's face kind of going, where the fuck's this going? And Corey starts fucking wetting himself laughing straight away, knowing something's coming. He goes, man, her fucking skin. He goes, it's perfect, man. It's perfect. She's like, just looking at her arm going, fuck me. You know, her skin. You know? And Gavin's face is just like, really, like, come on. And Corey's still fucking just, like, he's nearly on the floor laughing at this stage. And he's like, looking at him kind of like, what, like, how could you do that? You know, how could you have done that to her, kind of thing? Is he cheated on her? You know, and it's just one of the funniest fucking interactions. You see Gavin is just like, yeah, come on, let's get this fucking move on. You know,
I mean, you
dip your wick, you gotta pay for the paraffin. That's my father.
It's true. That's true. And yes, she's I'll say she's. I mean, she's showing her age, but everybody does. Beautiful woman. Very talented, but I would imagine that she's just as annoying as anybody else, and at some point he's probably just over that shit.
He means other women, people. She's just as annoying as every other woman. You see, he's trying to not sound misogynistic when he says this, but I'm going to throw Kevin under the bus right now, right? He means women. Hashtag cancelled.
Cancel Kevin. Oh, fuck. There was a bumper sticker on the side of a guy's motorcycle helmet that said, it doesn't matter how hot she is, somebody somewhere is sick of her shit. That's the truth. Everybody, I mean, we don't know what's going on in that house. He could have been just living the fucking nightmare.
That's true.
Because she...
Yeah, God only knows. Yeah, you never know what goes on behind closed doors and all that stuff. It's not like
now she's
living with a complete fucking legend, you know. So
yeah. Well, now she's a MAGA Bible thumper, so fuck her.
I would.
Yeah,
but I haven't been given the opportunity to. But you know,
she wouldn't be on my list
if it presents itself. She would have been back. I haven't seen her in quite a long time.
Oh,
so,
well,
you know,
way back in the day, sure.
You know, I'm obviously
not now.
You know, yeah, well,
not now.
Well, not with that whole thing. No, like I can't remember. There's somebody else that's over your side of the. There's somebody over your side of the pond who is always on the news or does some news show or whatever, and it's like, yeah, but then it's like crazy MAGA head, and it's like, no. As soon as they open their mouths, it's like, no. Couldn't.
Yeah, there's a handful of those.
Couldn't care how great of a prospect it is. That ain't happening.
Yeah.
Not that I would be able to avail of that. Or whatever. You know what I mean.
Yeah. Yeah, our wives don't listen to this show. It's all right.
Well, I meant even if I was single, like, kind of thing. Like, you know, that was the case. Yeah. I always talk about it in that respect. You know, I love you, honey. I love you. Stop looking at me. No, you can put down the frying pan now. You don't have to hit me with it. Go make me a sandwich. Now that Kevin's finished belittling women.
I had somebody at work ask me about someone, I can't remember who it was, and they're like, would you? I'm like, dude, I'm married. It's like, if you're single. I was like, well, single, I'd do a lot of things I wouldn't be proud of, so I don't know.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, you don't take that into consideration, actually. Yeah.
Who knows? But I'm not, so I don't have to worry about it. All right, well, Dan, let's take you back to 1320 in the village of Rothenburg ob der Tauber, Holy Roman Empire, modern-day Germany. You are a man known as Aldrich the Black, and this is your second week in a row of being black.
Nice. Just a dude playing a dude looks like another dude again.
And you have just returned from the wars in the East. What do you mean, you people? What do you mean, you people?
Yeah.
Once a nobleman of good standing, war had twisted you into something monstrous, your heart hardened like old iron, your soul blackened by the things you have done in the name of your king. One evening you crept into the home of the blacksmith, a man named Oswald, and his young daughter Evelyn. The smith had once refused you credit for a sword, and for that you never forgave him. You sought not only vengeance, but satisfaction in cruelty, and by the time the rooster crowed, the blacksmith's forge had become a funeral pyre. Oswald was found nailed to his own anvil, and his body split open like a pig at slaughter. Evelyn was nowhere to be found, but dark rumors whispered of her fate. The lord of the land, Baron Wilhelm von Kassel, soon heard of your atrocities. The Baron was a man who believed that the punishment should fit the crime. You, Aldrich, are seized by the Baron's men and dragged in chains to the castle's dungeon. At your trial, you laugh in the face of villagers, showing no remorse for the horrors you had inflicted. You spit at the Baron's feet, exclaiming, "Do your worst!" "So be it," the Baron says. The villagers are summoned to witness your fate. In the dim torchlight of the castle's great hall stands a large metal box. The closer you get, the more detail emerges. It has the shape resembling a woman with wearing a large cloak. 2 doors on hinges make up the front, while the top has the face of a woman. Then the 2 doors in front are open, revealing a sarcophagus lined with iron spikes. Too many to count. Your bravado wavers as the guards drag you forward. You curse and scream, and they force you inside, slamming the door shut with a sickening clang. You cry out as the spikes do their work, piercing you just enough to make you bleed. Spikes in your arms, legs, chest, stomach, groin, and even straight into your face and eyes. This is the torture of the Iron Maiden.
Getting in, being all thankful a bit on that keto diet and lost all that weight. Only to realise that I have a massive penis. So I get stabbed in the dick straight away. It's like,
just in there like,
yeah.
Woof. Suck it in. Suck it in. Oh, I wish
But
I
I've
had
been working on my glutes
squats.
the whole time. Yeah, it's like, bam, right
Pierced
yours.
my ass. Something horrible. My stomach's good, but my big old chest and my booty are getting stabbed. Now, it was left sealed for 2 or 3 days and nights. No food, no water, no bathroom breaks. Just standing there with these spikes buried into your flesh. Every movement widened and...
Not that the bathroom breaks are going to be your concern, really. You know, like, I'm
oh,
not going to be worried.
So bad.
Yeah.
Man, I gotta pee.
Yeah, exactly.
I gotta pee. He's just knocking on the door. Hey, I gotta pee. No bathroom breaks. Oh man,
so unfair.
It's whoever's gonna have to come in here and clean this up. He's gonna have quite the mess.
Law says you have to let detainees use the toilet. It's against my rights. Sons of bitches.
I'm a union worker.
Yeah. Then they close it.
Every movement widened and deepened the several wounds all over your body, causing you to bleed more and more. When it was finally opened, Aldrich the Black was no more. His body pierced in a dozen places, blood pooled at his feet. Justice had been served. So that was kind of the whole point of it. It was just not to pierce all the way through the body, because that could kill you instantly. But should go far enough into where it's almost like scraping your organs, and you bleed,
kicking in the bones.
Yeah, you bleed. Let's say slowly, but you bleed pretty quickly after. But you bleed to death slowly over time. Sometimes they would have holes where the spikes were sticking out, and the blood would drain down the spike out. And
then it would all flow into the center of the room into this funky symbol, and then it would drain down, and then it would have woken the master of the night, the head vampire.
Dracula wakes back up. Blade has been drained of all his daywalker power.
Damn it.
The first one was so good.
I just realized I'm the Kenny of this fucking podcast. Every episode I'm killed off at the start for doing something stupid, like stealing an orange or some crap.
You just start every episode.
My God, you killed Dan, fuck. You bastards.
Yeah. There's the t-shirt.
Yeah.
There's the t-shirt. I gotta get you and me made up with little fucking South Park characters. One South Park character is in a barrel.
Yeah. There you go.
Old Steve. We can also find use of the maiden during the Spanish Inquisition. In 1492, a man known as Mateo Navarro, a humble scholar and physician, had healed many with his knowledge of herbs and anatomy, yet whispers spread that his understanding of the human body was unnatural, even ungodly. Some claimed he had studied forbidden texts, books from the Moors, from the Jews, and from the alchemists of distant lands. Others said he denied miracles, placing his faith in science rather than in the will of God. One evening, the Inquisition came for him, because no one expects the Inquisition.
I was going to make that joke.
Were you?
As soon as you
beat him to it.
As soon as you said Spanish Inquisition, it's like nobody ever expects the Spanish Inquisition. It's like, oh wait, now until there's a pause.
Beat him to it. Like I got that Ned Flanders metal band before he could. Awesome.
God damn
it. His house was torn apart, his books burned in the street, and he was dragged to the dungeon beneath the tribunal. He was accused of heresy and told to confess. Mateo said that he had committed no sin. They said, quote, "Then we shall loosen your tongue." And the torture began. The rack, the strappado, the branding iron.
The classics.
All were used. Yeah, I mean, first you got to go through the classics first.
The torturer's playbook, like, you know.
Yeah.
Let's skip the big ass hammer. You know, let's just go straight to the rack.
We use the strappado? Oh yeah, of course. We use the branding iron? Oh yeah, sure. The rack? Come on.
Yeah. The wheel's out getting mended at the moment, so we can't use
That's
that.
The first one you do.
So,
yeah, it's got a broken spoke.
Yeah,
it blew apart. It blew apart when that one lady touched it, and all of a sudden milk started coming out of her. I don't know.
We got a door sitting over there we could use if you want, but
yeah, some big rocks outside. I mean, we got a lot of things. All were used, yet still Mateo refused to confess, even as his bones cracked and his flesh blistered. Frustrated by his defiance, they ordered a different punishment, one whispered of in hushed tones by the inquisitors.
Something
a device
more
of
foreign and exotic. Yeah,
a device of iron and spikes, a gift from the Holy Roman Empire. Quote, "The virgin shall receive him." Dragged to a hidden chamber, Mateo Mateo beheld the Iron Maiden. Mateo clenched his jaw as the Inquisitors shoved him forward. The iron doors yawned open, and before he could resist, they slammed shut with a deafening clang. The chamber was sealed, and for 2 days the tribunal listened to the sounds that seeped from the Iron Maiden. At first there were cries, then weak whimpers, and finally silence. When they opened the device, Mateo Navarro had left the world of the living. Blood soaked the floor, his body a ruin of punctures and torn flesh. Now, I was surprised as anyone else when I found these stories. I was one of the many that had bought into the belief that the Maiden was made up. But these stories and more prove, without a shadow of a doubt, that the Iron Maiden was indeed a real device used all the way back in the Middle Ages and possibly beyond.
I thought this was going to be the shortest episode we ever did. That's the reason I talked so fucking much beforehand. Because I was like, he's going to turn around and be like, joke's on you guys. This isn't real. You know, but...
Yeah, no, it fucking wasn't real. April Fools, motherfuckers.
Yes.
We've been talking for 3 years about how this isn't real. Those stories weren't even real. I went to Chat GPT and I said, hey, make me some stories about some guys in the Middle Ages and the Spanish Inquisition being punished by the Iron Maiden. And even it was like, the Iron Maiden didn't exist during the Middle Ages. Like, yeah, I know, just fucking write the goddamn story.
Fucking damn right.
None of that was real. None of it happened. This is not a real thing. I'm going to get this off here because it's going to just fucking distract me.
He's been sitting there the whole time waiting for me to say, but I thought it wasn't real, Kevin. I thought
a little bit, yeah.
Wasn't real. I was going to say it right at the very start. And then
really?
I was like, yeah.
But the real story of the Iron Maiden is kind of weird. So it starts in the late 18th century, long after the Middle Ages.
Dave Murray picked up the guitar and he said, I want to play me some tunes.
Bruce Dickinson stopped flying his plane.
Yeah. I don't think he was the original singer, actually. There you go.
Stop making fun of Ozzy Osbourne. Who was the original singer?
I don't know. I'll tell you now.
It doesn't matter.
Facts for the day, because if we Google Iron Maiden, we know we're going to get... looks like it was Bruce Dickinson.
Really?
Yeah, I must have been thinking of somebody else.
I call him Bruce Dickinson.
Look, I'll scroll through there.
Sure.
Thing, and if I find something that doesn't match up, at least got Dave Murray's name right. God, they had so many past members.
Oh yeah, I'm sure they did.
Barry Thunderstick Purkis. He obviously had a big penis.
Anyway, in the late 18th century, long after the Middle Ages and medieval times were over, with a German philosopher named Johann Philipp Siebenkees. He wrote a story in a guidebook to the city of Nuremberg about a coin forger being executed slowly by being placed in a device reminiscent of a sarcophagus lined on the inside with sharp spikes. Quote, so that the very sharp points penetrated his arms and his legs in several places, and his belly and chest, and his bladder, and the root of his member, and his eyes, and his shoulder, and his buttocks, but not enough to kill him. So he remained making great cry and lament for 2 days, after which he died. Which, I mean...
Yeah.
So where did he come up with this crazy idea for the Iron Maiden? Well, Siebenkees was a learned man and had probably got his inspiration for the non-existent device from a few different stories of instruments of torture that may or may not have existed before, like the execution of Marcus Attalus Regulus. He was a Roman general and consul of the Roman Republic in the 3rd century BC. He spent most of his career fighting with the Carthaginians. Carthaginians. Now, the legend goes that after losing the battle of the Bagradas River, the Carthaginian... Why can't I say that?
Carthaginians.
Carthaginians. Well, I'm trying to put a hard G. It's J. Carthaginians.
Carthaginian.
Those people, the people from Carthage.
Yeah.
Using war elephants, Regulus was captured. They sent him back to Rome under the oath to return. He was to negotiate for prisoner exchange or peace terms, but he opposed any such exchange or terms.
I don't like them.
returned.
They're Carthage Indians.
So he
negotiate
returned.
with them lot.
What can I need to get these people. What can you do for me? Well, we can give you this and this. Fuck it, I'll just go back and die. Fuck. It's not going to work. I'll just go back and die. So he returned to Carthage to be tortured to death. Because that's what you do. He gave his word.
What actually happened was, right?
I promise.
To be more, keep going down this whole sexist route here. I know that we started off this podcast in the first place. Is he went home after being away for so long. He had to run through the mill and all that stuff. An awful time, and he walked in the door, and immediately he was given out to for that one glass. He didn't put a coaster underneath. All that time before he left, and it just started, and he went, "Fuck this! I'm going back there." And I'm going to go get my ass tortured to death.
It said Nelson Mandela spent 20 plus years in prison. He's out of prison for just a couple of years and he gets a divorce.
Yeah.
It's like prison I can handle. You, I cannot. With your just ridiculousness. He returned to Carthage to be tortured to death. He met his untimely fate when they, quote, shut him up in a narrow box in which he was compelled to stand, and in which finely sharp nails were fixed all around about him, so that he could not lean upon any part of it without intense pain. And so they killed him by depriving him of sleep, when in reality, he probably died of neglect or starvation while in captivity. I mean, why build a big box when you could just not give him anything to eat?
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Because it's much more fun to build a big box and put people into. You know.
He's just in the prison cell looking like, what you doing? Building the box. For what? You're gonna find out. Just have some patience. Don't worry. You're find out. I don't know what you're building that box for. Nobody could fit in that box with those spikes in there. They wouldn't be able to lean against anything. Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
Keep that in mind, old Marcus. Another possible inspiration that may have actually existed was the Bride of Nabis, or the Iron Maiden, a.k.a. Nabis's evil torture robot.
Wow, what a name.
This is a fun story.
This needs an episode all on its own, though, just because of that name.
I had thought of it. I had thought about it, but I couldn't find enough information on it to expand, really, to make a whole episode on it. Plus, it does feed into the story of the Iron Maiden. So Nabis was the last king of an independent Sparta, ruling from 207 to 192 BC. And he was, well, kind of a piece of shit. He gained his power by killing two others that were to claim the throne. Then he sided with Philip V of Macedonia to survive the Second Macedonian War. But once things got dicey again and the Macedonians started to lose, he packed up and ran to Rome. He was assassinated in 192 by a group of Greeks called the Aetolian League that didn't take kindly to his siding with the Macedonians. But in between that time, he also liked to extort large amount of money from his own people, kind of as a hobby. What do you got going on today? Thought I'd go see a movie, maybe grab something to eat, extort the local population for all their wealth, and then, some dessert in bed.
He's an entrepreneur. So he is.
He's already the fucking king.
Yeah.
But I know I'm king, but I feel like I can go higher.
Yeah. That's it.
Always reach for the stars.
Self-made thousandaire. Whatever.
Yeah. reach for the moon, shoot for the moon, and if you miss, you land amongst the stars. Actually, if you miss,
you just keep
tumble
going.
You tumble through space
keep
for all of
fucking going.
eternity.
Or you get caught in this gravitational pull that it has, and a slingshot you back towards Earth, and you come down a fiery mess of death.
But man, what a way to go!
That'd be like you couldn't help yourself but do the Superman as you're coming in.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It burns. Yeah.
Or pretend you're going to like Super Saiyan or something as you're coming. Just do the squat as you're coming down.
You will be screaming. So I mean that does. Well, no, you'd be dead. You'd already be dead. Anyway, so if Nabis called upon you and you agreed to give him whatever he wanted, you were good. Go back to your life and whatnot. However, if you did not agree with Nabis, the money he wanted, to give him the money he wanted, then you would have to deal with his bride. Not actually his bride, Apega, or Apasia, however it's pronounced. Although that probably wouldn't have been much better. Scholars claim that the woman, Apega, was just as tyrannical as Nabis. She was described as a, quote, Spartan woman who exceeded her husband's viciousness and wielded power to satisfy her own greed. And was said to, like Cleopatra before her, quote, receive men at court alongside her husband. So, I mean, to each their own. If he likes to, cuck it out and just sit there while his wife gets railed by some peasant. I mean, I don't. You do what you want, as long as everything's consensual. I don't care what you do.
I don't think many people that she would have called in would have had the choice in the matter. Really, I say it was. True. She saw it as their duty, really, kind of thing. It's like, get in there.
Yeah.
Get in there. Or
get it in there.
Get in there. Yeah.
No,
or,
again.
Yeah.
Again. Keep going. Do that more.
Or you're going into not the Iron Maiden, but
Yeah.
Something like that. But anyway, more on this robot.
Sure. Nabis just thought she was the bee's knees. He just thought she was great. So according to Hellenistic historian Polybius, he built a replica of her for his dirty, dastardly deeds. So when one would refuse Nabis, he would bring out his iron Apega, I guess we call it machine, that looked as similar to his wife as possible. She stood with open arms and was dressed in expensive clothing. The person, usually at least somewhat drunk by this point, Nabis liked to discuss money over wine, would be persuaded, if not forced, to hug the bride of Nabis. And here's the thing. Those nice, expensive clothes weren't there just for pomp and circumstance. No, they hid a very crucial detail to this deadly effigy. Once the embrace commenced, the arms of the robot would close with pressure capable of crushing the person, and the rows of iron nails that lined the hands, arms, and breasts of Apega would pierce the poor bastard, Nabis controlling the machine through hidden devices until they relented or died.
We have real-time photos of it here, people.
I thought maybe you could put up the picture of the guy in the Iron Man suit from Australia from the out.
No, that was fucking brilliant. No, I didn't think of that.
Or a Doctor Who robot.
Nah, Dalek. No, I knew you put Megatron up. But yeah.
For those of you who are listening and not watching, which is fine, Dan put up a picture of a 1970s robot.
Yeah, Google's shittiest looking robot, and it's the first image that came up, so.
Oh, fuck. Polybius wrote, quote,
sex bot.
If anyone refused and objected to pay the sum imposed, he would continue somewhat as follows. Very possibly I shall not be able to persuade you, but I think this Apega of mine may do so, this being his wife's name, and even as he spoke, in came the image I have described. When the man offered her his hand, he made the woman rise from her chair and take her in his arms, drew her gradually to his bosom. Both her arms and hands, as well as her breasts, were covered in iron nails concealed under her dress, so that when Nabis rested his hands on her back, and then by means of certain springs drew his victim toward her, and increasing the pressure brought him at all in contact with her breasts, he made the man thus embraced say anything and everything. Indeed, by this means he killed a considerable number of those who denied him money. There's something I will say about people who wrote back then, is they're not big on commas or periods, because it's just one long sentence. Where do I take a break in this sentence? You don't. You breathe in and then you go for hours. Now, some historians say that this is absolutely factual. It definitely happened, pointing at the iron apega as one of the advances in technology of the ancient Greco-Roman Empire used as implements of torture, like the wheel or the brazen bull. However, as we've seen before on this show, if something seems a little too complex or over-engineered, it's a good chance that it never existed. Other than like the rack, which had a few moving parts, most of the things we found that were extreme or kind of crazy or over-engineered, pair of anguish, probably.
Yeah, this motherfucker inventing hydraulics, back in the day.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Now, as far as I could find, there weren't any iron apegas ever found, and if someone was to refuse Nabis, they would probably just be whipped or beaten, I would imagine. Give me money, no, hit him with that rock, stuff like that. Yeah.
You're going to have to call the episode Blood, Death, and Robots now.
Blood, Death. But it sounds cool. If I'm going to steal a quote from one of my research sites, talesoftimesforgotten.com, quote, "If a method of torture or execution works better as a story than as a practical method of torture, it is usually just a story." Which,
I'm looking at torture robots. Torture robots.
But it could have very well influenced Sembenki's story of the Nuremberg Maiden. Also, possibly the tale of Abbasid Vizier Muhammad Ibn al-Zayat, a wealthy merchant who became a court official in the mid-800s in Samarra, modern-day Iraq. He was said to have created, quote, a wooden oven-like chest that had iron spikes. Story goes that he himself would eventually be imprisoned in his own creation and executed in 847, much like Perillus and his brazen bull. So it's all these. It feels it's like a religion almost. You got one story and then a bunch of other stories that are a lot like that story with minor changes in the middle somewhere.
Chinese whispers.
But a lot of these,
It's like Chinese whispers. You know that?
Oh, okay. I didn't hear the Chinese part. I just heard like whispers.
There's only one torture robot as far as I'm concerned, Kevin.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And it's this one right here. Dr. Ball, MD. The best goddamn torture robot.
Was that Robot Chicken episode where it's like, she died of a broken heart? And Dr. Ball's like, what the fuck does that mean?
Yeah.
I got all, yeah, sure. You're the doctor. Yeah, you're the floating doctor. You know it all.
Fucking love that.
But God. One other instrument of pain and devastation that very well could have and most likely did inspire Sembenkis to write about the almost as violent Iron Maiden is one we spoke of long ago. the horrible, the calamitous, the crippling Scheindemantel, otherwise known as the drunkard's cloak, and old Steve Cooper.
Oh, yeah. My favorite barrel guy.
Yeah, many think that Steinbecke's creation and the many Iron Maidens that came after it could very well be misinterpretations of the drunkard's cloak, which obviously did not have large iron spikes inside. So yeah, they kind of swung and a miss on that one.
Look, things always get blown out of proportion, I think, over time, you know. Like, there was a guy who decided to share once, and he wrote an entire book about how he was the fucking son of Christ. So, you know, these things happen.
This guy comes up on this hill, and he gives me and my family like some loaves of bread and some fishes, and it was the best thing ever. And then the next guy's like, this guy comes up on this hill, and he gives like 9 families these loaves of bread and fish. This guy comes up on this hill, and he feeds 19,000 people with 2 fishes and 2 loaves of bread. Craziest thing I ever saw in my life. Somebody should write a book.
Yeah. This motherfucker opened up a bottle of water, poured it out, and it was red. It was wine. Is he sure it wasn't a bottle of wine that he opened? No. I saw the calf skin. It's like, would it not look the exact same if it had water in it in the first place? No. Maybe.
It's just, he had water, and then he's got one of those, like, flavor packets.
Yeah, he's going to say.
Squeezing the two at the same time. Look, red.
It's cordial.
Is that wine? No, technically it's white champagne. Tastes a lot like water, though.
Yeah.
Here. Don't you feel so fucking drunk? I really do, Jesus. I really do feel drunk.
Now eat my body. And then he took off his cloak, and he was like, give it to me. He covered himself in the bread. That's what he did.
Eat this bread as my body. Drink this wine as my blood.
Lower. Too low.
Eat this mayonnaise as my... Okay, I'm out.
Yeah.
I'm good. Took it a little too far, Jesus.
That just reminded me of a D&D thing. Oh, God. You never really watched all of Critical Role, did you?
I did not. I couldn't do the 4-hour episode thing.
Yeah, I got burned out of it after a while, but it was a great yoke where the character in Grog got this this jar type, or like a vase type thing. It's a magical thing, and the whole point is that it fills up with any liquid, so is that they could, like, he could always have beer at hand, or he could always have water at hand if they needed it. Yeah. And he's like, so I can think of any liquid, and it will just be filled with, and I can, like, it won't be never ending until I choose another liquid. He's like, yeah. He's like, okay. He goes, I want mayonnaise. So he's just sitting there eating mayonnaise.
Well, which begs the question: is mayonnaise technically a liquid?
It ain't solid. Is mousse a liquid or solid?
I think it falls into that
it's an emulsification
weird area in between of a liquid and a solid, because it can be a solid in one form, but it fills the vessel that you put it in, which makes it a liquid. So I think it's some of those kind of fall in between.
An emulsification is considered a liquid. So there you go.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
Is a hot dog a sandwich? Who gives a fuck? It's a hot dog.
I think it's a roll. It's a roll. Like a lobster roll.
Which is not in itself a sandwich.
A roll.
Yeah.
No. I don't think it is.
No. I don't think so. We could debate this stuff for hours. The only thing we know for a fact is that God isn't real and the English were bastards. But everything else is up for debate.
It's like saying a Pop-Tart is a ravioli.
But that's because it's the thing with a filling.
It's filling. It's crimped on all sides. I mean, you can boil it. I wouldn't, but you can.
In some ways, it's nearly like a Danish of sorts in that case either.
Kind of.
Yeah. Oh, anyway. God, Pop-Tarts can be anything you want them to be, people. Except for nutritious. So, there you go.
No, they're not nutritious at all. Some of them are delicious, but not nutritious. They're horrible for you. Anyway, so if this this Iron Maiden was real, if this Iron Maiden wasn't real, why are there so many of them out there? I mean, they're at practically every torture museum in the world. Well, it just so happens that coincidentally enough, not long after Simbenkis wrote about the Maiden in his story, a few years, the very first Iron Maiden to go on display just kind of shows up in Nuremberg. Oh, look what we got out of nowhere. Now, this exact model was destroyed during the air raids of Nuremberg in World War II, but it was far from the only one. Throughout the 19th century, making Iron Maidens was kind of all the rage. Blacksmiths, just people at home who were able to come up with the metal or to get a forge would start just making fucking Iron Maidens. And museums would just buy them up and display them. Or they would take parts from other torture devices and kind of piece together their own version of an Iron Maiden. Well, we have these.
You have this box.
Well, we have that car door. We have a car door. A piece of driftwood. I mean, we got the makings of an Iron Maiden right here, guys. We're good. We're gonna save this torture museum.
What is this? A pre-BC torture device look like as a door from a Ford Mondeo? No, just ignore that. Ignore that. It's all good.
That's how classic a car that was.
Yeah. God damn it.
Why would a museum want something in their display that was obviously not used in medieval times? Well, many think that they were used as a propaganda tool. If the people in the 1800s were told and shown that this is how those in the Middle Ages were punished, then maybe they would think, well, maybe we don't have it so bad after all. A hanging or a quick axe to the neck is much better than this thing. One even appeared at the 1893 World's Fair in Chicago. Now, luckily, H.H. Holmes didn't get his hands on it since he was active in the Second City at the same time. Can you imagine H.H. Holmes getting a hold of an Iron Maiden, just having it in his hotel?
Yeah,
Here's your room.
Yeah.
It's awful small.
Please check out the closet.
Like Vincent Price. Check out the closet. Yes. Yes. Now, I would love to leave it there. The Maiden was never used on anyone, and everyone you see, all of them that you see was created almost 2 centuries ago and just put in museums. No blood
And
was spilled,
he will. Take care of yourselves. Good night. See ya.
If I could. But there are crazy, ruthless, sadistic people in this world. Now, there's no evidence of Hitler using one, or Stalin, or Gaddafi. But let's not look past the Husseins. Because in 2003, Uday Hussein, son of Saddam, was the head of both the Iraqi National Olympic Committee and the country's soccer federation. And 2 years after the 9/11 disaster, 2 years after the launch of Wikipedia, iTunes, the first Harry Potter film, the year after Star Trek Nemesis was released and SpaceX was founded, the same year the last Volkswagen Beetle was produced, 50 Cent's Indie Club hit Billboard Song of the Year, the same fucking year that Finding Nemo was released, they found at the Iraqi National Olympic Committee headquarters an Iron Maiden. That, and there are witnesses from what I understand, but obviously no one will come up and give a name. It was said to be used on athletes who didn't perform up to Uday's standards.
I didn't have spikes in it. I just had one dildo in the back. That's all it was. Now, not to take back from anything that you just said there, but what everybody really wants to know here is
sure.
What were Nickelback doing at the time?
In 2003?
Surely they were doing something.
I don't know.
Like, was Chad still trying to make it as a wise man? Or...
I mean, they were performing this. This says full concert Nickelback acoustic 2003 live. So, I mean, they were... Yeah, I mean, they were out and about and doing their thing. Yeah, I remember that because, yeah. The Long Road, the 4th studio album by Canadian rock band Nickelback, released September 2nd, 2003.
There you go. Now, that's
Their
your pop
fourth
culture
album.
reference there, people. Done.
There you go.
That's
That's all I'm doing. That's all.
yeah. That's the 3 degrees or whatever the fuck it is of Kevin Bacon, but with Nickelback,
With Nickelback.
and
And
the Iron Maiden.
So there is a chance that the Maiden finally tasted blood, but it would take her until Arnold Schwarzenegger became governor of California.
Dear
That
Jesus.
all happened at the same time.
Did you look up
And
that
Nickelback put
Uday
out a-
Hussein fella? If you look him up on Wikipedia, the picture they used for him is fucking hilarious. He's like
Oh, yeah?
a goofy looking motherfucker.
He's like,
Yeah.
It's like somebody just did a magic trick next to him. Is this your card? It is. Get the Iron Maiden. I don't like it. It's witchcraft. But that's the history of the Iron Maiden. Now, Trooper, take your number of the beast and run to the hills.
I see what you did
Dan,
there.
any pop culture?
I didn't know if you knew this one now. I was deep diving there a little bit while you were doing that stuff, and I was following link after link after link after link on the side there,
A
trying to
rabbit
make
hole.
sure. Yeah. And here's an interesting one for you. Did you know there's a band called Iron Maiden?
I did not.
Well, there you go. That's about as much as I can give you.
But have you seen the skeleton guys I have back? Those zombie skeleton guys?
No.
I don't
Who are
know
they?
I don't know where they're from, but they're pretty cool.
Look all right, I suppose. Yeah. Apparently, Uday Saddam Hussein also had some involvement with the Iron Maiden. He used to
really?
put athletes into it or some shit. The thing is, though, it's like it's really funny. I don't remember ever seeing it in movies or
I can't think
anything
of
like
one.
that. Like, you know, there's nothing. Like, even when you go into the wiki page of it, there's nothing on it. For
Bram
pop
Stoker
culture stuff.
wrote a short story about one being used on somebody. It was actually being used on an American who was trying to show off for these people, and it was an Iron Maiden, but it was laying down, so it wasn't technically an Iron Maiden, but it was a casket with spikes in it, and he lays down in it to prove to everybody that he's a big shit or whatever, and a cat jumps on the lid and closes it and impales him and kills him.
I hate that.
It's pretty funny. It's pretty funny.
That's brilliant. Tay didn't write any songs about them either, so
Has she redone any Iron Maiden songs?
I don't think so. No, I think if you're to hear her sing "Run to the Hills," it's more of a warning, because she's about to start singing. But aside from that, no.
Oh, well,
Sadly not. No.
yeah. You would think that this would be something that would have a gigantic pop culture list. Of
Yeah,
movies and TV shows. But
You'd
I
imagine that would be in
cannot-
certain things, yeah. Like, but now in
I cannot
today's
think of anything.
day and age, I'm not surprised. Like, because you'd have people straight away going, "Yeah, that's fake," That didn't exist. So why are you putting that into it? It's like, yeah, well, look, y'all watch John Woo movies and they never read out their guns and that, and that's not real. So go fuck yourselves. That's my opinion on it.
Oh, so this says that it was featured in the documentary Iron Maiden Flight 666. So an Iron Maiden documentary. Also, it says it was in Stranger Things.
Really?
I don't remember seeing it. The song. Oh no, not.
Did the
It
band
said featuring the Iron Maiden, but it's featuring
It's the
music
song.
with Iron Maiden.
Yeah, because Eddie Munson is playing it. Then obviously, yeah, Iron Maiden's "Peace of Mind." Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Well, there you go.
The Addams Family. There was a prop in the Addams Family TV show, and the Munsters. And the Fugitive to Sleepy Hollow. I don't remember it being in Sleepy Hollow.
Oh, no, why? Why are you doing none of these things listed like
Just put in TV shows and movies featuring the
Ooh.
Iron Maiden device.
That's just strange. That is strange.
Yeah, right. Historical context. The Iron Maiden is a mythical device. No evidence of its actual use in medieval times. Yeah, we know. I just did an episode about it.
Yeah. Thank you, AI
Anyway,
overview on Google.
Thank you to our patrons. AI didn't even want to write fake stories for me because it didn't exist back then. It's like, just fucking write the goddamn story. You do what I tell you to do, computer. Thank you to our patrons, Willow, Quinn Fowler, Nevin, and Sam. I believe that you two have a little beef going on right now. You can sign up as well at our Patreon, patreon.com/torturepod. 1 week of our cult leader tier for free. Connect with us on the socials at torturepod. Email torturepod@gmail.com. Buy me a coffee /torturepod. Redbubble.com/people/torturepod for merch. All Pride merch profits donated to the Trevor Project. Go rate and review wherever you can, and thank you to our sponsors. You can support us by supporting them. Hint for our next episode: I go to sleep for 3 days, and all I get are these colored eggs.
The Iron Maiden again.
We're going back around again.
Yeah, just in case you missed it the first time.
Dan, any words of wisdom?
Yeah, this one comes from a great personal hero of mine. We've already set this up technically at the start of the episode, in a sense.
I stole it.
No, not really. It's a different one.
Okay.
But from the same poetic hero, which is, no cry because cookie is finished. Smile because cookie happened.
Truer words have never been spoken.
Yep.
Which,
Absolute legend.
You look at it at the big picture. You don't cry because something ended. Be happy that it happened.
Yeah.
Especially Cookie.
100%. I used to have an amazing Cookie Monster t-shirt that had a great quote on it. I'm trying to see if I can actually see the quote anywhere online. Oh, it was today me will live in the moment unless it's unpleasant, in which case me will eat a cookie.
Yes, there you go. Big Cookie Monster fan. Grover was always my favorite, but I am a big Cookie Monster fan. The fact that he never technically ate a cookie, he just smashed cookie through crumbs.
Cookie smasher.
Yeah. Grover was always my favorite. The monster at the end of this book. No, don't turn the page! Yeah. I always love that one. Anyway, that's all we got. So,
yeah.
Hope you enjoyed this.
I did.
Walk along the mythology of the Iron Maiden. All right, fuck, we're out of here. Take care of yourselves. Take care of one another. We'll see you.
Bye-bye. Thank you.